Good evening, everybody who's in the room, on the council, city manager, and who's online. Welcome to the city council special meeting for committee interviews on May 28th, 2026 at 5 p.m. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Jesse, would you like to lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move on to item 2 on the agenda, which is instructions on exiting the building in case of an emergency and review of our technology options with Jesse Baker.
Thank you. So for those in the room, if there is an emergency during the meeting, you can go out left or right and go down to the stairwell on in this corner that you likely came up, or the back corner. In the back corner, there is a refuge place as well if you'd like to wait, and then go downstairs and go outside. For those who are joining us online, when your interview comes up, the chair will call on you. At that point, I'll promote you as a panelist in the webinar and bring you over to speak with the council. Other than that, we're not monitoring the chat for content.
Thank you, Jesse. Item 3, agenda review. Are there any additions, deletions, or changes in the order of the agenda items for tonight's meeting? Okay. Item 4, comments and questions from the public not related to tonight's agenda. One person in the public. We have one person online. Two. Let's see very well. We have, okay, just one, no, 2. Okay, all right. And so there are no comments. All right. On to item 5, which is conduct interviews for the city appointed boards and committees. We have a sheet in front of us with the 3 committees that we're going to do tonight, which is housing, library board of trustees, and public art. And you could just go down from top to bottom.
So they're.
Oh, they're in order. Okay,
Yep.
so that's.
I do want to note for the council, though, that not all the candidates for all the committees are interviewing tonight. You may see a few next week as well.
Okay.
For those committees.
Okay, great. So did we see that Connie is online, right?
Yeah.
Connie, can you hear us?
Hold on, let me
Oh,
move
hold on.
over to be a panelist.
Hi,
Hi there. How are you?
sorry, my dogs are causing a ruckus. I apologize. Just one sec, I'm gonna quiet my dogs down.
Okay.
She's she
They're
told me.
trying to help me get the job.
She told me earlier she's pretty sick.
Okay, I think they're quiet now.
Okay. So good afternoon or early evening, Connie. You've applied for the housing committee. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am a Vermonter through and through, born at Fanny Allen. Lived here my whole life, except for the time that I was in the military. I'm now a disabled veteran. Well, I'm a veteran who is disabled. And so that's pretty much my life right this second, is trying to navigate all of those situations.
How long have you lived in South Burlington?
I actually bought my house in South Burlington 20 years ago, but I lived here 2 years before that as well.
You want to tell us why you're interested in the housing committee?
I have been on a journey of finding an ADU for myself, and have found that there is a whole area of ways we could do things that would help many more people. And we could, try to keep some of the people that are fleeing our state actually in our state. Otherwise, we're going to end up in a state full of just old people, because none of the people, 30 and below can afford to really live here. Actually, 40 and below, I will say. So I've found a solution for myself, which is a tiny house on wheels. So it doesn't need to be put on a foundation, which saves about $25,000 in foundation costs. The houses are way more inexpensive, and I don't think necessarily that people need, especially like myself, I don't need 1,200 square feet to live in. I'm a very simple person, and I can do with a whole lot less space as long as my dogs can still run from one end of the house to the other, which is what they're doing right now. So sorry if you can hear their chains.
I didn't quite hear you about what you've done that's special about your house. What did you say you did?
I'm trying to build a tiny house on wheels,
Oh, a tiny house. Okay, okay.
but specifically a tiny house on wheels so that it doesn't need a foundation. Because that is a huge prohibitive cost for a lot of people to put in a foundation that goes below the frost line.
Yeah.
And so I had my contractor do two estimates, one for putting in a foundation and one for just putting in drilling down anchor points at the locations that I would need them. And the quotes, the one with the foundation was over 55,000, and the one with just the anchor points drilled in is about 25,000. So that's a huge cost savings. Plus the houses themselves are much more expensive. The house that I'm looking at building is 11 by 36 feet, so almost 400 square feet, and it's only $130,000 as opposed to $400,000. And I think that would make it so that more people could add them to their properties, and maybe we could afford to let some millennials rent some properties at reasonable prices.
Have you attended any housing committee meetings?
I have, and I've looked at the pre-approved, or what they're trying to get pre-approved, the 10 units. And the only problem with all of them is not one of them is handicap accessible. I also happen to be disabled, so I'm very concerned the fact that we're missing out on a huge portion of people that are disabled.
Because of the housing that's being built, or because of, I wasn't following that.
The pre-approved permitted plans that you guys are looking at.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I lost video with you guys for a second. I can't see you anymore.
hold on. 1 second, we're having technical.
Okay, well, just so you know, if I'm not looking at you, that's why.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
But what I looked at, I did the comments for the 10 units permitted plans that you guys are gonna probably approve or have approved. I don't know if it's actually been approved yet. Not one of them is handicap accessible. So that was one of the things that I was looking for, was a complete handicap accessible ADU.
Okay.
And because I don't need a huge house to live in when I could have 3 people move into my 3-bedroom house and be able to rent it out at a decent price. And I'm not talking like $1,800, $1,500 per person, because that's crazy rent for somebody who's bringing in $18 an hour.
Right.
They just can't afford that.
Yeah. Councilman, questions?
No, I'm just curious about the tiny house. My daughter happens to be very interested in tiny houses. So Presume you're getting like a prefabricated tiny house that could just be rolled onto the property? Is that how it works?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at having one built specific for me because
Okay.
it's because it would be ADA compliant.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
But the sad part is we only have two builders in the state who even do tiny house on wheels.
Hmm.
One of them I went down to meet with, drove 5 hours in the car to go meet with this guy, and he never called me back with an estimate. And the other people, they only do the outside of the house. They don't do any of the inside work. So then I would still be responsible for putting in cabinets and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. So I had to go looking outside of the state, which is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to get Vermont builders to do this, but none of them were willing to take the chance because they don't know if it's something that would be, be able to be mass produced or even to have an ongoing construction schedule set up for these tiny houses.
So that's unfortunate. You're saying you weren't able to source kind of an ADA accessible tiny house.
I wasn't able to access any tiny houses in Vermont. And I think we're really missing out on something that could be a viable source of housing.
Yeah.
Penny, a quick question for you on the foundation costs.
Sure.
The $25,000, did that include the utility hookups?
The difference,
I'm just curious.
the 25,000 did include the utilities. It included moving the water from the house, the sewer from the house,
Perfect.
electric, all of that stuff.
Nice.
So the whole deal is like $175,000 as opposed to, and that includes them bringing it here because the gas and all of that right now is crazy. But $175,000, I could have a house on my property in no time. They're saying it takes like 6 to 8 weeks, as opposed to 6 months to a year.
Did you talk to anybody like Huntington Homes to see what they had, the modular home construction people?
I did, but again, those required you to have a foundation built.
Foundation, yeah, okay.
So you have to look at the cost of the house on top of the foundation work that needs to be done.
Is anybody doing shipping containers?
We can't because shipping from what I understood from all of the research I did, we can't do container houses because they don't hold up because of the snow and ice that we could potentially get on our roofs.
There's one in Shelburne on Falls Road.
Well, that doesn't doesn't necessarily mean it was an approved one.
Oh, I don't know. I saw it being built and then they put a wooden shell around it.
That might be the difference, is that if they reinforced the roof somehow.
Yeah.
But the only other way that I've been told that you could do a container would be as if you lifted up part of the roof like it was a tin can and put it at an angle, which again costs more money.
Yeah.
Connie, this is Elizabeth. I'm the liaison to the Housing Committee from Council, and I'm curious in your research, what other issues you might have identified in the housing arena that kind of intrigued you?
What do you mean by that?
Just as you were investigating sort of what was meeting your needs, what kinds of things came up for you that said, gee, this is something I'm also interested in participating in the Housing Committee to investigate?
Well, the more I research these tiny houses, how valuable they are for the square footage, for the money that you have to pay for the square footage, and how much cheaper I could rent it if I wanted to actually, stay in my big house and rent the tiny house, how much I could still rent it for still way under market value. I was like, you know what? This is the way to go because I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this for the get rich quick scheme. I'm here to try to help people stay in Vermont because this is where I grew up. This is where I built my home and I know how good Vermont can be. But the cost versus income inequality has gotten so out of control, especially for kids who, even my son who has a college degree and makes, over $100,000 a year can't afford to buy a home. I mean, that's crazy when you think about people who are making, $15, $18 an hour trying to even afford to rent, let alone buy. But this is something that they could do. This is something they could invest in.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I need to disconnect something for a minute to see. We
Sure.
may lose, Connie, we may lose you for a minute while we try and fix
Okay.
this. One sec. Somewhere that's a good sign.
Pull this out a little.
So Bennett, it said the default mic has changed on the sound bar when I disconnected that.
That makes sense.
It's attached to the back of the credential. Now says the room mic will be used. Did the camera pop back up?
I don't have you guys.
Right, we still don't have that.
Oh, wait. There we are.
Thank you, Bennett.
And can you hear us?
I can, and I can see you now.
Good. Good. All right, thank you. Any other questions?
Well, you want to cover, the housing committee meets, monthly, every first, I can't remember the day, first Wednesday, or second Wednesday of the month. Is that a commitment you feel comfortable making?
Yeah, I'm not employed because of my multiple sclerosis. I can't work, so I'm very available. And
There are certainly Zoom options available too.
well, thankfully, because I'm so sick right now, and I'm glad I didn't have to bring it into the room.
Do you
But
have any,
but
do you have
this
any
is
questions for us, Connie?
well, I just think this is a very exciting opportunity to get builders in on, to get our young people in on, to get our cities in on, because it's not like, I'm taking away from anything by just putting an ADU on my property, even though it would be a tiny house on wheels. I was having it built, so I'm having it built so it looks like the other houses in the neighborhood. It's got that same like old farmhouse style, like my big house does. And I'm so excited for how many other people could learn from all the research I've done and all of the rules that I've looked into. The only problem is that the city of Burlington, or city of South Burlington rather, doesn't have a definition for anything less than 8 by 32 or 8 by 34. 8 feet by 34 feet is, I believe, the minimum I had to meet. But I've talked to many people and they've said they could live in a whole lot less area than that as long as it had the basic functions. And the only reason mine is as big as it is because it has to be. Because I could do with less space, but mine has to be bigger than 8 by 32. So just an idea.
Great. Do you have any other questions for us?
I don't think so. I've been
Okay.
researching this all over, so I've been trying to read as many meeting minutes as I could.
Great. We have more people to interview at a subsequent meeting, and then we make decisions after that, and we vote on that in public. So when we make the decision, you'll find out one way or another.
I look forward to hearing from you.
Great, thanks for coming
Thank
tonight.
you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
And now we'll move on to Haley Shen.
Right, oh,
Sure,
over here.
yeah, sit right there.
See you all. Okay.
Good evening.
Yeah,
Good.
I have lived in South Burlington since 2018.
Excuse me.
And I lived in this cold region for 50 years. I lived in Potsdam for 42 years before moved over to South Burlington because our daughter lives here. And this way we can be closer. And so we're not familiar with this region at all. And the reason I'm interested in the housing community is because I hear so much about the difficulty of the housing here. And although I'm myself, not like Connie, facing a problem myself, but I really like to help. So I was trying to figure out what is the problem and is there solution? Are there solutions for this problem? And because of my training, I'm problem solver. So I suppose I should be able to contribute something. And also because I lived in many different places. Connie is mentioning about tiny houses. I lived in Tokyo for 3 months during a sabbatical year. And the apartment I lived is called a weekly mansion. And the real thing is just the opposite of a mansion. It's only 19 meters square, which is about 190, less than 190 square feet.
Where do you sleep?
Okay. It's got everything. It's got a,
Is there a bunk that goes down?
yeah,
Yeah.
Murphy bed.
Murphy bed, okay.
It's got a balcony, which I cannot even step on. And you have washing machine, you have no dishwasher, but you have stove, refrigerator, and you have a tub, everything. In the hallway, the bathroom one side, kitchen on the other, and I told people that I could cook while I'm sitting on the toilet.
Efficient.
The faucet in the tub also serves as a faucet in the sink. It just, you know, so everything is well engineered. So everything is everything fits. Murphy bed comes down in the night, and the Murphy table comes down during the day. So that's a tiny house. And I also watch your home and garden channels before, and I know those tiny houses. I really admire those tiny houses idea. And because I'm from civil environmental engineering, so I was always thinking about construction. We hear people during their younger ages, they have kids, they need a bigger house, and they downsize when the kids go to college, and we have to move. And why can't we have houses which we can just buy a room and attach to the house and then detach the house when we don't need that? But the engineers are not doing that now because I think probably there isn't enough market for people to think about, but technology is there. I'm not saying that we should do it here because I think this is really far out there, but there must be something we can do here. And that's why I picked the housing as my first choice as maybe I can do some volunteer work. This will be a place that I'm interested in being helpful. And I also interested in nature because I love nature. So I'm hoping that I can help in that arena also. But I think housing is so far my highest passion. That's it.
What are some ideas to address the
housing?
Housing.
I really don't know what are the problems because when Connie's talking about tiny houses, I don't even know, do we have zoning prohibits us to put a tiny house on our lawn or have a land, we buy a piece of land to do that. So I need to find out what are the problems first. So ideas wise, I only hear people say there are problems. I don't have a problem, and I see houses being built, they all look pretty nice. And they all have a very good plan of having parks and recreational areas surrounding it. So, but I also look at the north side of Burlington, and I do see that there are rundown houses, and I feel those are the places we should make improvements. But I don't know,
Burlington or South?
in the Burlington area. So South Burlington area, I haven't found anything like that yet. But maybe I should be looking more, not driving around looking at what are housing problems in the South Burlington. So I just say that I haven't done my research of what is the problem, but I have a lot of interest in learning what the problems are and hopefully can help finding some solutions.
So Haley, you and I obviously talked a lot over the years. I know you have a passion for the environment, as you expressed today too, and have a lot of experience and expertise. And I guess there's a question for you. I know you said that housing is kind of your highest priority. There are, and we're blessed to have a lot of people applying for, a select number of seats on housing. Would it be amenable to you if we were to say, natural resources would be a good fit? I mean, how would that work for you?
Sure, I'll be happy to help.
Okay.
The natural resources wise, what are the problems there? I don't hear very much. I just know that I love it. So I don't- whatever the problems there are.
How we take care of it. I have a question for you. Are you here full-time or are you here seasonally typically?
Yeah, so that is the problem. I'm away 4 months per year so far, and I don't know how long this will last, but I think in the next 2 years, I will probably be still doing the 4 months away in Singapore, which I think I wrote in my application information. And I can do Zoom, and I do Zoom while there are several other activities that I have. So that's not going to be a problem. But if I have to be physically here, then it's not going to happen.
Yep. Do you have questions for us?
Well, I would say I really admire you all. Being volunteer is the toughest thing because you take all the blames. And the people,
No good deed goes unpunished.
and you don't have anything, well, I think service is what you gain. You feel that you're doing something good. But I see a lot of volunteers taking all the blames and so I really admire you, and I would say, so why do you do it?
That's a good question. Somebody has to do it, and I would rather it be me than somebody else, because I trust myself. And my judgment is excellent.
I do for my kids, Haley. For my children.
Uh-huh.
And I think I grew up in a family that you just, you volunteered to serve the community, and I'm carrying on that tradition. And as Andrew said, hoping to be a good example to my family.
Not that the kids appreciate it.
Service and concern about our future, and hoping to help steer things in a good course.
And the pay is just exceptional.
Oh, yeah. It's all about the pay.
We're overpaid, so.
And the thick skin.
Why do you want to do it?
Well, as I mentioned that, I just feel like I got to be able to help. And I think seeing that you're making a difference is a good feeling.
Yep.
So,
Have you volunteered in other capacities in the past?
when I was a teacher, I did a volunteer as a coach for high school students and volunteer as other committees that I served on, which I think is not as tough as what you have because we are all very polite to each other. And now I'm doing a little bit of service at the King Street program.
Mhm.
So I haven't really done too much of volunteering work.
What program was that?
But Keith has been a good example.
Yes, yeah, he is actually the one suggested, he said, they are opening for some committee positions, why don't you apply? So
There you go.
Keith is my son-in-law.
Yeah.
Keith has been a stalwart member of the Energy Committee for many years.
My son is in Taipei right now,
Oh.
getting a master's degree and is enjoying it immensely, except it was 97 degrees yesterday.
Gee.
Yeah, they're having a little heat wave, so, but it gets warmer this time of the year, as you probably will.
Yes, yeah. 97 is up there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, great. Thanks for the application, appreciate it.
And hey, just to be clear, so I mean, the Zoom would likely be, you know, sometime in the middle
I
of
know.
the night or.
I get up in the middle of the
And that-
night, I'm used to that too.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Bright, sunny and raining out. There's a rain
Oh, look at that.
somewhere.
Can I just close this one?
Sure, I leave now, right? Right.
You're welcome to stay if you'd like, but you don't need to.
It's less clear. Who's next? Somebody named Don Filbert. Is there a Don Filbert in the room? Oh, there's Don.
There is. Good evening. Hello.
Hello?
Nice evening.
You applied for, how is it? Two different, what was your, do you have a backup?
No,
No.
housing is,
Housing.
Housing,
bus.
but was there a backup besides that?
no,
No, okay.
No more DRB.
pardon me.
No more DRB.
You know, it's been 7 years and all I can say is the reign of terror for the DRB has ended.
Two ways to interpret that.
Yeah.
It was a really difficult time, was who was in charge.
No, I thought it was time for a change.
7-year itch, yeah.
Yeah, 7-year age.
Well, what interests you about, I mean, obviously DRB does a lot of housing content, right? And
Sure,
So you're
sure.
on the judicial end of it, and you
Yeah.
wanna look at maybe affecting the
Planning and policy.
the
Right,
policy. yeah.
right. And I don't have any quick solutions. If there were, they would have been solved by the bright people of this community. Why housing? So I'm a social worker by training and I understand that stable, adequate housing is essential to health and well-being, people and children and families and so I'm really interested in that. I'm on the board of Green Mountain Habitat for Humanity. And the executive committee and I just really am very committed to improving affordable housing options for Vermont families. I frankly don't know how families are doing it between the cost of housing, childcare and healthcare and inflation. I don't know how your average earning family is doing it. But I am very interested in housing. I will be very honest with you. I am not someone who says housing at all costs. I'm a supporter of the environment. I've been following closely the governor's or the interest in reducing the wetland buffers. And I frankly think the governor's proposal was ill-conceived. I think there's a reason we have wetland buffers. There's a reason for protecting wildlife and there's a reason for mitigating floods. And I just think it's short-sighted but it has an impact on available housing. I know Green Mountain Habitat is looking at a property and if the wetland buffer was reduced, they would be able to build a lot more houses, but you know, everything has its cost and I do support efforts to preserve riparian buffers, so. So I looked at the committee list and at first I thought planning committee. But I'd like a little break from being out every other Tuesday night. I mean, not that, not that I lead such a busy life, but it just I'd like a break from that. And housing seemed like the most appropriate committee for me to serve on.
Besides the issue of wetland buffers, are there other complexities in our own LDRs that you think inhibit lower cost development? It's denser, because usually that's lower cost
Yeah,
housing.
boy, that's a tough one for me to answer. I'm ashamed to say I'm not as familiar with the LDRs as I should.
Well, the ones that you've seen, you know,
Right,
if
right.
you've seen conflicts happen.
Well, I think there's always a balance, and no one likes regulation until they need regulation or until they need the protection of regulation. But so I support regulations. I think the more we can make permitting more efficient and more cost effective, to provide incentives for builders to build affordable homes, I think that's always a positive thing. So, but I'm on a statewide level, I was very concerned about the reduction of the wetland buffers.
What do you think about the governor's proposal to roll back the residential efficiency standards for houses?
Say that again, Andrew,
To,
please.
to roll back the building efficiency standards or the
Energy.
energy
Yeah,
standards.
yeah. I don't know as much about that as I should. I would have to really study it more. Again, I think all of these things have pros and cons, and I've never been one to advocate jumping for quick solutions that seem on their face to be obvious, because every policy move has an upside and a downside. And I think you have to be very careful about how you go about doing that. The Housing Committee recently had a discussion, I can't think of the name of the book, it's 3 names, but
Brave New Home.
thank you, Elizabeth, yes. And I thought there were some interesting concepts in there. I will tell you that from my habitat experience, it is quite amazing how many people, including those who were not born in the United States, believe that they have to have a single family home. It really is seen as the American standard, the American dream.
A standalone or as
A standalone, no, a
Standalone.
single family home with a backyard.
Yeah.
I get it, that's what I had for my kids and it was delightful. But I'm not sure that that's a reasonable solution for affordable homes. I think parks, so I live in the O'Brien development in a townhome. It's a duplex townhome, and I'm right next to the park there. And not a big park. I cannot tell you how widely used that park is for dogs and human beings. It is constantly used, and now that we have those 2 apartment buildings, and we'll be getting more, it's a different mix, a different demographic mix.
You mean the
And
2 summit buildings?
pardon me?
The 2 summit buildings?
Yes. And I think that's really healthy to have parks and have people bring their dogs, walk their dogs there and have kids play there and meet other kids and I think that needs to be part of the solution, is having open space parks available for kids and families, because kids do need areas to play. But I'm not sure we can always afford to have every family have a backyard. So that's my story.
Any questions about the committee or the time commitment or the?
No. I talked with Sandy
responsibilities?
Dooley.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the time, checked out the schedule. It doesn't interfere with, I'm also on the Board of Medical Practice. It doesn't interfere with any of my other meetings.
The board of
Medical practice,
is that the malpractice board?
no,
Okay.
it's the board in Vermont that licenses MDs
Okay.
and also investigates reports of, not malpractice,
Yeah.
because it's a legal term,
Okay.
unprofessional conduct.
Unprofessional.
Yeah, it's fascinating, really fascinating.
And so there are doctors and non-doctors on that board?
There are public members, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that the state level though?
Yes, yes.
How often do you have to meet?
Well, we meet once a month as a full board.
Okay.
And then the state is divided into 3 committees, investigative committees, and I chair one of those committees. And it's the North. So we investigate cases from the South because we don't want to run into conflict of interest. It's really quite interesting.
It is, yep.
Thank you so much for.
And do you have any other questions for me?
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Well, as you said, the money, it's all about the money.
Well, if you're in for city council, you make more.
It's all, and the glory.
The DRB is no good deed goes unpunished more than council.
Well,
Thank
no,
you.
one
No,
of
it is.
one of the nice things about the DRB is you can't talk about things out and about. So when I'm in the grocery store, I'm not gonna be attacked like you guys. I grew up in a small town and my father was always on the school board and the abuse my mother took, it was crazy, cause you know how school funding can be a magnet for controversy, so. Any other questions?
Well, we can talk about housing for hours.
Thank you
We
so much.
could.
Lauren.
And I know you often ask people why they're doing it, and so I live a perfectly fine life. I have everything I need. But I'm never gonna be a philanthropist. I don't be a philanthropist. I don't have the kind of money to
You have
donate,
time,
but I have time and hopefully some expertise
lots.
and skills. And and I grew up in a family that did service, and this is a wonderful community. I've only been here 8 years.
Where'd you
But
come from?
Williston, I lived there for
Oh, it's so far away.
3 years. Yeah, I'm a flatland.
We hate their retail. It's evil, L&T. But we like it.
So,
Other questions? Well, thank you very much for
thank
applying.
you for your time.
Yep.
Good luck with your.
We'll be in touch one way or the other once we vote in public on
Okay.
the assignments.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you, Dawn.
Next,
Before we go, just clarify, in the spreadsheet, it says there's a column for incumbent/new. And for Nora, it has new, which I think is wrong, right? That should be incumbent. At least in mine, it says new.
My was incumbent.
Oh, it does?
Yep.
Huh? Mine definitely says new.
Where are you? Where's this?
Right here.
No, where's this stuff? Are you in your?
Oh, I just pulled it out of SharePoint, yeah. I just pulled it from the latest SharePoint.
She's an incumbent.
Yeah, okay. On the older spreadsheet, it says incumbent. On the newer one that's dropped into the meeting today, it says new.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay. And then similar for Gene Hunt in NRCC. Maybe the older one was correct there too, let's see. No, both will say new, so.
Gene is incumbent.
Gene is incumbent.
I will change it on Andrea's master. We have lots of these going around, so you guys don't mess up her master.
all right, next up is Christy Liddy Repstad. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Hold on.
And we're moving on to library, right?
Yeah.
Should have been up here.
You gotta accept.
There you go.
It disappeared.
It
She's
just
moved
move
over.
over.
Oh, okay.
Turn.
Electrons.
There we go.
Hi, Christy, can you hear us? Looks like you're muted.
There we go. Can you see me?
Not
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
We're waiting.
Okay. Yeah, it's thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know why it's just thinking.
There you go.
Yay. Hi, I'm Christy Liddy Repstad, and I live in the Orchard neighborhood with my wife and our 13-year-old son, 2 dogs and 2 cats. And yeah, I have a keen interest in serving on the library board.
Hold on, I'm bringing up a file here. It's,
Oh, okay.
I'm behind. Hold on. There it is. Okay. There it is.
So you've been a librarian.
Yeah, so I've had over 10 years of library experience, and I feel like most capacities. I served on the Jericho Town Library Board for a year before moving. I've been a librarian. I have my master's in library and information science, but I'm not really able to work at this time with my schedule, just being a mom and working around just the needs of our household. So I thought this would be a fantastic way to sort of bridge a gap of like wanting to be involved with the library, but not working full time. There's a lot in between that needs to be done.
You've got tremendous library experience. I'd love to hear if you have some ideas for what you'd like to do, how library can become a better experience for folks.
Wow. Well, as y'all know, the library is pretty fantastic. Like
Yeah.
it's like I'd say one of the best ones in the state, and I am biased, but it's just amazing. Um I don't know if I have any ideas for them. Like they really have it going on, and I just sort of want to be a part of that
Mm.
and support them in whatever way that they need, and bring to the table just life experience. I feel like everything you do in life prepares you for being a librarian in some level. So it's, learning is ongoing.
You've aware of the time commitment, that how frequently they meet, once a month?
Yes, yes.
That's
I,
okay.
I don't see any issue with that at all.
Have you had a chance to attend any of their meetings, either remotely or in person?
I haven't. I'm responding to the call out that I saw in Front Porch Forum, so
Oh,
I
great.
haven't I haven't been able to do that. I've been to the library a bunch, but I just haven't attended one of their meetings.
Great. What was the most fun thing you worked at when you were working in the library in Richford?
Yeah. Um, Something that was really cool about that was we had a lot of Quebecois
Oh, yeah,
patrons
yeah.
that lived just right on the border, like a mile one way. And so they would go to the libraries in Quebec, but they would also come to our library because it was really friendly and, you know, and super close by. And I really liked getting to hear like Canadian perspectives because their libraries were kind of a different animal than what we were dealing with, just in terms of like funding and um like funding was the biggest one. But yeah, it was lots of interesting stories around that. Made some really good friends that I still keep in touch with. Um, Canadians that go back and forth.
Was there ever a language barrier, or were there some French speakers in the library?
No, I mean, there were some French speakers in the library, but like most of the folks coming back and forth they spoke English really well, and but we did get a lot of donations that we put out for like you can take a free book, that sort of thing, and we did get a lot of stuff that was in French, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah. That's neat. Other questions?
What's your favorite book?
Oh,
What's your favorite children's book after that?
okay. Probably I love Prodigal Summer by Barbara Kingsolver.
Oh,
She's
Yeah.
just like one of my favorite writers. And as far as children's books,
that's a tough one.
I'm
All the
I-
Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss.
No.
Yes. There was one we had, and I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was for little kids, but it was all about I think it's called Vegetables and Underwear. And it was just really cute. They were all the vegetables wearing their underpants.
See, adults need those books too.
Yes.
But when they read them to their kids, they get to enjoy them.
Absolutely. That was, I mean, I feel a lot more forward as a librarian for so long that, I do read children's books for fun. But I remember when my son was little, it was just sort of like, yes, I can do this. I have a total excuse to read these books because I have a little kid and he needs to be read to.
Christy, I was with our director of our library yesterday, and one thing she said is that she relies on the trustees to sort of bring different groups that they network with into library functions and into the library. Are there any groups that you interface with that you might have that relationship with?
That's a really good question.
I'm very early.
Go on.
I feel like honestly, queer parents, like I think that's a subset of our community that I have a lot of information on because I am one, and feel like the library is just such a welcoming place for everyone that I bring my friends. Like I don't think that's I don't know if that's how you're if that's what you're wanting to know, but my friends and their kids
Great, thank you.
and other librarians.
Lori, any questions?
No, it sounds like you've got fabulous background and experience, and that you could be an amazing contributor. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, I've been trying to think of a good one, and I can't really come up with I liked one of the ladies asked why you do this, and I feel like I have a lot of kinship with people who do public service work. Like that's something that's really near and dear to my heart, and so I'm sorry I can't think of a clever question to ask you, but I appreciate your service and appreciate the chance to be interviewed for this.
You can ask what my favorite children's book is.
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear.
Cat, You Better Come Home
Kat, you
Garrison.
better come.
by Garrison Keillor.
Oh, I
Well, the
didn't know he wrote a
illustrations-
children's
The
book.
illustrations are beautiful and the story is really funny and it rhymes.
I'm gonna check that out. I had no idea that
Literally,
he
are
had
you
a
gonna check that
children's
out? Are you? Don't.
And I've already said mine.
Yes.
And a child's garden of verse. I don't
Oh
know if
yeah,
you've seen
I know
that.
that one.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for your
Thank you.
application, Christy. Appreciate it. And maybe you heard me say to the other applicants that once we go through our other interviews and a voting process, we'll let you know one way or the other.
Okay, is the vote, is that something that'll be posted like when that happens, or do we already have a date for that?
We have.
So
Go ahead.
I anticipate that they will take action at their regular meeting on June 16th, and then we will notify you in writing after that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Great. Next up is Rebecca. Is Rebecca on there?
I don't see Rebecca.
Okay.
Were there other people in the?
Do you want me to leave while you're?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll just sit here and read my book that I just checked out.
I did.
Is there anybody else sitting out there?
I don't, there wasn't one I
Okay.
could. Hi.
We can all come back to Rebecca when she shows up.
Yeah.
And the next person.
Oh, wait, I'm
Nope.
sorry, I'm on the wrong
Yeah, you were, that's right.
screen.
Here we go.
There she is. Yeah.
Sorry,
Hello.
Rebecca. That
I was
my
like,
fault.
wait, I'm here.
My fault.
Hey, Rebecca, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm well.
Oh, shoot, sorry. I can't-
Uh-oh, we lost you.
Right, it's me again. Let's try not to do the other one. I'm used to doing this on my laptop for council meetings. so- Sorry, that was me again.
All good.
Such an embarrassment of riches.
I won't mess with it.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us something about yourself?
Sure. I'm a lifelong Vermonter. I was born in Essex, Vermont. I moved to South Burlington about a few years ago after spending some time in DC and Pennsylvania. I've always been a library patron, but have come to really love the library as I'm getting emotional speaking about it. As a new mom, I found the wiggle room and the space that is the children's library it created a community for me that I was looking for, and just got to spend a lot of time there, met a lot of people in the community, and learned that it had so much to offer besides also being a space for me and my toddler. Like the other day, I was trying to figure out where my property line was. I went to the town offices and they directed me to the library to rent a metal detector. And it just was like a small example of, how much of a community hub the South Burlington Library is. And that's more about what I love about the library and less about me. But so I'll shift back to a little bit more about me. So I'm a new mom. I have a daughter named Eloise. I'm an attorney. I work with the Northern Border Regional Commission. So we do rural and economic development, supporting our New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, and Maine. I like to play the piano, and I like to golf and play pickleball. And I like to read.
Have you had a chance to attend any of the meetings they've had?
No, I've never attended a meeting similar to, I think it was Chrissy who was on here before. I didn't even think about applying to the board until I saw the post on Front Porch Forum, and just felt called to apply after seeing that.
Cool. Questions? Rebecca?
Rebecca, do you have any ideas of what kinds of things you'd like to see our library doing or continue doing or stop doing?
I think the programming is really fabulous. I think it speaks to, the many the array of communities that the library serves, I think that there's always an appetite for more programming like you all do. I know that capacity is a huge issue, so finding folks to coordinate that, but I think you know, your programming around the toddler time is great. I mean, I would love more programming on supporting early reading and early learning. Find that really interesting. I love the language programming that happens at the library, and just, you know, more languages. I feel like I would love to see that. I think like professional development is really important, and just like space for that. And I feel like the library is a good place for that. And there's yeah, I think the library, just so many people come in and out of the library, that it's just a good place to you know, provide resources for folks that may not necessarily like know that they need something, but then see that the library is doing it, and that can bring people in. And so I think just lots of different variety of programming like you all are doing, but yeah, there's always an appetite for more.
And you're aware of how often they meet, and you can meet that time commitment and those times of those meetings?
Yes.
Any other questions? Do you have any process questions for us, or any city council type questions?
I mean, interested in like, what is the collaboration between city council and the board? Do you guys connect?
And we interact with the library board.
Oh, right. So, the council solicits a work plan from the committees annually, and they submit it to us for approval, and they go off and work on these items, and then eventually, you know, the output from that comes to us either as a policy proposal or as a capital item or things like that nature. Also, you'll be working with the librarian and the staff, right, to suggest things for them as well, right? And also fundraising. Is that part of their
So,
Aspire hooked up to them?
all right, I'm kind of off camera.
You are watching. Sorry. But
Who
dance.
set it up that way?
Hi, Rebecca, I'm Jessie. So the library trustees are what is called a statutory committee for the city, meaning that they have an independent authority that's separate from the council in some ways. The library trustees set the policy of the library, which keeps it out of the political realm of the council, which is useful, I think, to our governance system. And then there's also a Friends of the Library and another Friends of the Library and the Library Foundation, that both do the fundraising portion of the support. The library is primarily funded by the general fund and property tax dollars, though. So setting library policy is really, and supporting the like community engagement and program setting is really the primary roles.
Got it. Thank you.
That's the official answer. Disregard my previous answer.
Yeah.
Thank you for stepping up, and it's almost overwhelming the amount of applicants there are for the positions we have open, and well, we'll be making a decision. I wish we could find something for everybody, because we just have a incredible richness of applicants. So thank you so much for stepping forward, and if for some reason it doesn't work out this time, I really hope that doesn't discourage you from coming back.
All good, thank you.
Thank you.
And you will probably find out by June 16th.
Okay,
One way or the other.
all right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you so much.
You too, bye-bye.
Bye. Next up is Monica Taylor. Is Monica Taylor in there? Oh, please come down. You can sit at this table in the hot seat. Good evening, Monica. How are you? Full disclosure, we were neighbors in the Eastwoods neighborhood for
10 years.
20 years, roughly.
How long have you been in your new house?
2012, so we were 92 to 2012, so 20 years. But you were there before we got there?
3,000.
2000? Oh, okay, 2000, all right.
We're still there, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Can't be the location. Location.
I do love it.
So, why don't you tell the council something about yourself?
Let's see. I am Monica Taylor. I have lived in South Burlington for the last 26 years. The last 12 years, I was the development director at Hunger Free Vermont, great organization in South Burlington, statewide. But I left to make some changes in my life. And I recently took a position at UVM where I'm going to be in a support role for, it's called the Center for Academic Success and Scholars. And I have left the director position to someone else. And that is exactly where I want to be. And that brings me to, well, here as one example of how I'm trying to continue to realign my values in my life. And I'm really glad to hear that there's lots of people who have applied for the positions. It's funny, when I first got the email, or one of the emails, I thought it said, we are bringing on 34, trustees. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is the largest board I've ever heard of in my life. And I met with Penny of the foundation, because being a development director, I was like, oh, maybe they could use my skills there. And she said, no, it's 3 to 4. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, I loved the library when it was part of the high school. That's when my daughter was an infant. And my goodness, she went to the high school, and it hasn't been that long that this building, I know that there was the interim in the mall. And I'm just so proud of this new iteration of the library, and it makes me feel more connected to South Burlington. I love to read, I love to learn. And I feel that there's a lot that the library currently does, and it does really well. So there's that wanting to be part of something that's a success. And then there's also what else can be done. And I think that the folks that work at the library are so already leaning in that direction and thinking about how to be cutting edge in terms of community building. South Burlington's demographics are changing. And I think that the library is an opportunity to bring people from a variety of backgrounds together, whether it's, as Rebecca, I think was the woman's name, her talking about having her toddler at, a program for children. It's really important when you're a young parent to have that outlet. And I just applaud all libraries for being able to do that, because that was one role that the library served for me when I was a young mom. But I think that there's an opportunity to bring people together from a variety of different backgrounds, folks who love to learn, love to read, and maybe you're just looking for human connection. I feel like our community in general, we are so screen-based. So just being reminded that there's this opportunity to be amongst humans in some way, shape, or form in this beautiful setting, I think is a really great endeavor. So that's me, and that's a bunch about what I think of this piece of the community.
I know you attended one meeting from the Library Board of Trustees back in 2005 or
With
6.
Jennifer across the street, she was like, you should come. And that's when Lindsay was really little. And I was like, You don't even know what day it is. I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
I only have one child and it was too much for me. Yeah, but it's been a long time. And so as I'm realigning my life, things are opening up. And if you find someone who has more availability, I am just starting a brand new job. So the intention, I think the question is going to be coming, can I meet the responsibility? My intention is yes. I mean, I'm very familiar with working with boards. I've done it for the last 20 years on the staff side, not on the board side. But I wouldn't make the commitment lightly. But where was I going with that? Oh my God, I totally lost my train.
You started off with it with someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
Penny was like, we could use you on the foundation.
Ah.
Like, okay. But I don't think,
Possibly another niche for you to fit in.
yeah, and
Awesome.
I don't think that this is, you know, special or secret information, but it's really encouraging and invigorating to hear that the library is doing as well as it is in terms of its finances. I've never worked for a municipal entity. So I didn't know, I just didn't stop to think about it. And so Penny was like, we're doing good, don't, if you worked with us, it wouldn't be our hair's on fire and we're running through the room needing to have things finished 2 weeks ago. So it just felt really refreshing to hear her perspective on what's ahead of them for the next 12 to 18 months.
I keep saying the word donor in your skills and qualifications, which
Yeah.
I could see Penny going. "Ugh."
She was so like, just, whatever you want to do, and we really appreciated it.
She's great, Penny's great.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna echo Lori, we have such an embarrassment and riches of qualified folks in the community who want to serve. It's really something.
Yeah.
We're really blessed.
And if I could just say, I don't represent the changing demographic in the city. We are technically a city, aren't we?
We are.
Okay. But if there are people who have applied, or if there are young people who have applied, I would say, don't, not that I think you're gonna pick me, but if you, I would happily give my space over to somebody who has a different perspective, because that could be added to the, what's a term, 3 years, 6 years? So, I'm just so glad to hear that lots of people wanna join.
And you had no alternate committee that you might think about? Besides library?
Foundation.
Well, we don't.
No, I know.
But yeah, but you're right.
But in terms of,
Yeah.
So are you asking if I were to serve on the board, what,
No,
subcommittee?
so you were given in the application a choice to name a second committee that you might want to volunteer for.
if
Oh.
this didn't work. Another committee that you might go, oh, I'd like to be doing that if I didn't do this.
Are you all bringing volunteers from the community just to be members of subcommittees?
We're interviewing for all of our
Yeah,
committees.
housing, library, board,
Housing,
public
library,
arts,
resource,
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, no.
okay,
Um,
Parks and
yeah,
Rec,
I understand
cemeteries,
now, okay.
all of our,
Yeah. I hadn't thought about it. Just, I've only made the transition from my very chaotic life in November, and so I think I'm still kind of so maybe.
Depressing.
I feel very blessed to have found a place at UVM, and I got to spend time today with high school kids, and it was awesome. So very different. But back to your question, I hadn't thought about it, but maybe I'll go back to the website for South Burlington and just take a look.
appreciate your generosity and willingness to step forward.
Yeah, of course. It's this is a great city, and thank you. I don't know if people say that to you, but thank you for for doing what you do. I mean, here I am saying I've got a chaotic life. This is a big deal. Yeah. So
Well,
that's
doing this process is really I find it really uplifting because it's an affirmation of how much people care about this city.
Yeah.
And it's pretty special to have that. It's very special, so.
Yeah, and I went to the block party. I saw you there.
Right.
That was a great idea.
In Mayfair?
It was the,
Illuminate.
yeah.
Oh, Illuminate, yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't remember what it was
did.
called.
On a day that it didn't rain and it wasn't 45 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the band was really, everybody loved the band. It was really fun. Yeah, it was
The
good.
bracelet on your.
No, because I forgot my ID.
Oh.
No, actually, I lost my ID. And the person who was in charge of giving the drinking bans was
Yeah.
like, I can't give you a ban. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm 55 years old.
Hard.
Public safety,
Pardon?
liquor license.
I played the
Security,
role, I
they were-
was a city council helping do that.
role too.
And, you know, a woman came up, you know, with oxygen in a wheelchair.
And you couldn't give her the ban?
We didn't give her the bed.
Oh my God. Okay.
State liquor license.
So it seems like there should be some discretion.
Do you have any process questions for us?
No, other than if I were to want to look at the other committees,
Do it soon.
um,
And
just go to the website for South Burlington.
yeah, and you could you just email Andrea with any new information?
Yeah, you can just email Andrea, but if you go to the main page of the website and hover over government, which is the first tab on the left, and you can look at all the list of committees there.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And then if I don't get my act together now, when is the next time you all?
Once a year,
Pardon me?
once a year.
Once a year. Okay, great.
Unless
Unless
there's a couple of committees that suffer some subtractions or
Understand,
reductions,
yeah.
and we need to fill them, so
Okay,
we would advertise for that.
okay. Great. Is it rude if I leave? I just got out of work and I'm.
Thank you so
starving.
much.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Thank you.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, you too.
Congrats on your new job.
There's somebody outside. Should I invite him in?
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
yeah.
Waiting for the library.
Or any
Or
committee.
any
Any
committee.
committee.
Never mind. Don't pay no attention.
All right, next up is Leslie Wagner.
It's Dan Wagner, and that's me.
Come up and sit down. Let me bring up.
It's hard to listen to all these other wonderful answers. I'm like, oh.
So good evening, thank you for
Hi.
coming. You are applying.
You're very welcome.
You only applied for library board, you had no second choice.
Nope.
Would you like to tell us about yourself?
Sure. I moved to South Burlington about 8 years ago, I guess, from Nashua, New Hampshire. We just lived right around the corner off Heinsberg Road, and the library was in the mall at that time, and it was wonderful to see all move over here. My background is in literature and writing. I taught at Riviera College for a long time in Nashua. I work at Champlain now. I actually am the associate director of student support and coaching services there now, so kind of similar to the job she was perhaps talking about. Just, you know, lifelong reader, learner, library user. In my little blurb, I wrote about, you know, my two sisters and I going into the library with my parents and coming out with stacks of books, and then, you know, everybody's like, oh, you're never gonna read all those, but we did. And our the way we, you know, kind of spent time together was all sitting in a room with reading our own books, which is a good thing. So that's what drew me to the library. I work with Donna Swartwell too, so she kind of gave me a little nudge. She said, oh, you should volunteer. So yeah, so we really have enjoyed moving to Burlington. We moved here to be closer to my daughter and my grandson, and who knew there'd be a pandemic, and you know, it was a good thing we were here, so because we were able to be part of the bubble. But certainly during that time, the library was a great provider of some resources, and you know, still kept the books going. And so I'm very interested in being involved if I can.
My background is, like I said, in writing, in literature. I have a copy editing certificate and would be interested in, you know, helping with promotional materials or newsletters or editing or any of that kind of stuff, along with other things. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. My husband, it's just my husband and I, and my other son lives in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, so don't get to see him much. Yeah.
Snowboarder or skier?
Say it again?
Snowboarder or skier?
Border and
yeah.
back, well, really backcountry, so he hikes up and then throws himself down these mountains. I hear about it afterwards, but biking and, but he takes advantage of all of it.
Everything outdoors.
Yeah.
Nice.
May I ask what you do at Champlain College right now?
Yeah, I'm the associate director for student support and coaching services. So part of my job is administrative. We have about 30 work study students who are work in our peer tutoring centers. We have 7 different centers on campus, and so I work on hiring them, training them, overseeing them, et cetera. And then I also handle all of the data management for our department. And I've been looking at too many Excel sheets, so pardon me if I look cross-eyed. And then about 60% of my time I'm working one-on-one coaching students.
One-on-one as a
Yeah,
tutor? Like,
yeah.
okay, that's part of the
Not
support.
really, not more on like executive function skills, time management, you know, keeping on track, making a plan. Work with students who are on academic recovery, which is what we call academic
Yeah.
probation.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to help them graduate, stay in school. And then a lot of our students are also great students who just take advantage of the resource and I just went to graduation and saw a bunch of students that I've worked with for 4 years, and it's very satisfying. Yeah, so I really like that.
And so you're just gonna throw everything to AI to do all the writing for everybody from now on, right?
What's that?
We're just gonna use AI to do all our writing
Oh,
from now on, right?
no, yeah, yeah. AI is quite a conversation everywhere I go. And I resisted it for a long time, and I've dipped my toes in it just to see how it works, and it's a pretty incredible force.
Frighteningly incredible.
Yeah.
Any good stories about students that used it to their disappointment without reading the final product before turning it in?
Well, the sad part, and this is another reason why we just can't, we have to protect our libraries. Even before AI, a lot of college students just don't read that much anymore.
Yeah.
So even if they're assigned something to read.
Wait, are you saying that there might be a connection between a person's ability to write and their reading background? And reading what other people have
Who
written?
would think such a thing? Yeah, yeah.
Just thinking about
How's that work?
that's.
How does that work? Yeah. Well, you know, I grew up, like I said, reading all the time, and I actually learned the rules of grammar when I student taught in an 8th grade classroom. And it was a Catholic school. I'm not Catholic, but I was student teaching in a Catholic school, and they had a literature class, and then they had a writing class, which was really grammar. I was teaching grammar to these kids that just, you know, their hormones were raging and they didn't care. But I actually learned, you know, what things were called then, because because I read so much, you know, I just kind of had that instinctual. Anyway.
Do they push the little book at Champlain at all? The little book? Yep, the little book.
No.
Struck and white?
Struck and white, no. Nope, don't see that much anymore.
I can tell I'm old now. Great. And you're enjoying the new library, I assume, compared to the mall? Although the mall had, from the community, you know, in high school to the mall. was a lot of
Yeah,
traffic at the mall.
yeah. I gotta say, my favorite part of the library is putting books on reserve and coming in and getting them, and, you know, I still get a thrill out of that. And I have a 8-year-old grandson who's with us every Saturday, and so we're often over here doing whatever, and we're using the playground and back, or it's a great spot. Puzzles, I swap puzzles with people, you know.
Have you used the interlibrary loan program at all?
I haven't haven't had to. You guys have been able to find things for me. You know, my problem is I have 4 library cards. Because I can use South Burlington, I can use Fletcher Free since I work in Burlington, and my office is in the library at Champlain. And I can also use the library at UVM, so I can always find things. I put books on hold and then they all come in at one time in every place. It's like, but
Have you had a chance to attend any of their meetings?
I have not. I've not.
Do you know anybody on the committee at all?
Sorry?
Do you know anybody on the committee?
I know Donna Swartlout.
Yeah.
She just retired. She was actually my boss.
Oh.
I don't know too many people. And this is the other reason that I'm interested. Because I moved here right before the pandemic and our grandson actually has some health issues and is immunocompromised. We were just really shut down for a long time, even longer than most people. And so I need to get out and meet some people. And I think this would be a cool thing for the library too, is to kind of recognize that there is kind of a demographic of older people who haven't quite retired yet, but might be somewhat newish to the community and can't necessarily come to programs, you know, before 5 o'clock or 5:30. And it'd be interesting to explore some avenues there of ways to get that group together. But certainly the library's doing a ton of stuff already.
Any other questions?
Any other questions for me? You're not gonna hit me with any hard ones?
What's your favorite author? Who is your
gosh.
favorite author?
That's so hard to say.
We have to give you a category too?
I love.
I'd like to read.
I like a good Irish novel, you know, that's sad and happy at the same time. And my favorite, if you ask me my favorite book, I would tell you it's a book called This Is Happiness by Neil Williams, I think is his name. It's so good. Got tons of children's books laying around. I'm kind of, during the pandemic, I had a hard time reading things. My mind was too, and I went back to Dickens. You know, I love the Victorian literature. My husband one year gave me a full set of Dickens, which is a lot of,
That's a lot of reading.
a lot of books, because some of them are in 2 parts. So I made my way through, not all of them, but some of them.
You have any process questions for us at all?
No, because I've heard you, you know, explain what's going on, and I agree that it's great. You've had tons of volunteers. That it's a good thing. That's a, you know, good sign for the community.
Would you have thought about an alternate committee if you?
I didn't really think about it. This is what I was most interested in. You know, just as a starting place, maybe as I get to know more about what other people are doing.
So like you heard earlier, June 16th is when you would be notified one way.
Yes, yeah.
If it doesn't work out, but please keep your eyes open
Yeah.
on the other paper front porch forum and
Thank you.
please,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah.
apply again.
I certainly will.
Okay.
All right, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're next.
Is there an and
And I know how to pronounce that last name. Pug, yeah. Is there a pug in the room?
I heard it's Pew. Is Ann Pugh in the room?
We're teasing her. She was on the council with us.
Yeah.
I thought you were being hazed for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
That's
Council is to be hazed.
Good night.
You dare come back before us?
I do. I was initially gonna be online, but I decided that was not my strength.
Oh. Well, your submission 1634, so we're just gonna refer to you as 1634. Ms. Pugh, would you like to tell us something about yourself?
And why you're interested in this position?
Yeah.
I'll start with, I'm interested in this position because I love libraries and I love South Burlington. And I see the library as a community hub. I think it's in my, God, this is like important to me. And I'm nervous in front of, I'm nervous in front of you all.
I also felt nervous when I was in that seat.
Yeah, it's like, God, what's going on? I mean, I think it's in my blood to give back to the community where I became an adult. I was not a Vermonter, but I moved here for my first grown-up job. And so I've lived here for more than 40 years. So I've lived through the library within the high school, the library in U Mall, and now this incredible hub of the community, which is beautiful and welcoming and seems to shift and try to respond to the differing needs of the community. I am retired now. Prior to being retired, I'm a social worker by education and practiced direct service social work for a while. Was a program manager, worked for the state for a while, and then started teaching at UVM, and sort of subsequently, while I was teaching at UVM, I became a state representative, and so juggled those two. The legislature was considered part-time, UVM was, and UVM was considered full-time, but we, and I did that for about 30 years. And when I stopped doing that, I did a short stint as a city councilor. So my experience on boards is both national, state, and local. And right now I'm not on any, I used to be on the Howard board and stuff like that, and I'm not on that, and I'm looking for an opportunity to give back to my community.
You have a lot of free time now, is that what you're saying? Is it? Yeah.
Well, certainly more free time than I used to have, even when I was on city council.
So I have an important question for you.
Yeah.
How's family fitness and fun going?
This fits into it. This
Good.
fits into it.
Yeah.
I would love to be, I would love to be part of the library. I have listened to like 3 incredible candidates. And so don't you have 4 openings on the library board?
And 2 incumbents.
No, the people who just came before me in
Yeah.
terms of, they have a lot to offer and things like
There's
that.
7 people applying for 4 positions.
Okay, well, I mean, I've only heard, these 4, and I'm sure we all have different things to offer. I have been involved with the library through Friends of the Library. Since the Little Friends bookstore started in Wheeler, at the Wheeler
Yes, yeah.
farm at Wheeler House. And so doing those kinds of things, and I would look forward to working with the new librarian and seeing what stamp she puts on this and what changes she might want to do, or programs to start or enhance, or those kinds of things. And I've already seen some beginning. I'm in this building a lot. I've already seen some small things. There's now a coffee pot in the library. And isn't that, that small little thing, but that makes
There's a
it,
K-cup maker down on the first floor now.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's new.
Yeah.
And when I go to the library, I see people doing puzzles. It really is a community, and I see people working, and I see some people hanging out, and people coming in and looking at books and pulling things out and things like that. And I've seen the library and the Friends of the Library be active in a lot of the events or things that are happening around town. They were open and as a space, as well as providing some things during Illuminate and other things like that. And so I'm excited about how it can continue to be a hub, and what one of the earlier folks said, how the library can continue to respond to our changing demographics, and whether it is the fact that we're having a diversity of races and ethnic identities greater than we've used to have, or whether it is that our population is aging, and so how to address some of those things.
Yeah, the library's really become like a social resource anchor
Mhm,
for city center
mhm.
and for the rest of the city, but
Yeah.
because it's right here,
Yeah.
now we have all this housing of different types of
Right,
housing,
and
you
I'm
know?
curious as to, how it can remain a library and still be responsive and be a place, because right now it is one of the hubs.
Have you checked out any of the things, the library?
Yes. The
Yeah.
paper shredder,
I was here.
for
when
one,
you
that was
picked
the
one up.
last thing I,
That's okay.
what,
I was here when you picked it up.
yeah,
Yes.
that was the last thing that I.
Were the feds coming to your house quickly soon?
Yeah, well,
or-
I just wanted to get rid of some things that, just in case, I mean, I'd be curious, answering a question that you haven't asked me, but that you asked someone else. My mother was significant. I was a surprise. I was a big surprise. And when I was in high school, my mother did not get around a lot. And this was in the 1960s. Be quiet, be quiet. And I mean, this was before a lot of things, and she was a big reader. She would always have a bunch of books right on her bed that she would read. And one of the librarians came and dropped off books every week. And that was so important to her, that kind of thing. And then when I went off to college, it was even more important because there was just dad at home working and, whatever. And, do people even want that? Or is that something that might be helpful to some of of our very senior citizens who were less able to get around?
Yeah, we did have the bookmobile for a while. But I think it died.
And I don't know.
Talking
why.
about getting another one, but then that went away.
Well, and that's something I think about. I mean, I have wondered about, and I have heard that it was not quite on the horizon yet. And I'd be curious as to why, if it's more than money and staffing, which are real things, and is it something that people would like? I mean, I think the friends and also regular non-affiliated residents have a lot of the little free libraries in various places, and the friends staff some of them. And so maybe that addresses some of that need.
Yeah, there's a little lending library in Butler Farms. Did you know that? It's on that street that cuts off the curve on Butler Drive. It goes to the bike path.
There's several.
There's several, there's one in.
Several in Butler Farms? Yeah.
There's-
No, I'm thinking
All over
there's
the
one up
city.
on the golf
The-
course.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
It's
and
city,
there's one in your neighborhood by the bike path.
One in Queen City Park.
Yeah.
Very active.
Is there food in that one?
I have not noticed.
No food, but
I didn't see
actually
any
it's been
food.
interesting because they advertise in Front Porch Forum for the kinds of books they're looking
Okay.
to stock up.
Is that right? Oh, really?
So say like we're short on, kids' board books, if we have some, it always gets replenished.
Cool.
Anything else you want to add?
I don't, do you need any questions from me or
I
anything?
don't think so. You've heard that the 16th is when we'll probably make our decision.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I will answer the question you have. I have considered other committees.
Yeah.
I was once on the planning commission. Thank you very much. I do not want to repeat that. And to keep with my 4 Fs, which is how I'm
Yeah.
structuring retirement, friends, family, fun, and fitness.
Oh,
And something has to be fun, i.e. enjoyable. That not only do I give something, but I get something back. The, the library.
Yeah.
Is where I am interested.
logical, yeah.
Unless there's other short-term things.
And it's good to see.
I love that you keep the door open.
Did you ride your bike here?
What?
Did you ride your bike here?
No, because it was,
Raining, it was raining a little bit, yeah.
it was raining a little bit. I mean, literally, I was going to
Yeah.
ride because you noticed I got here a bit earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
And then so I said, forget that.
Okay. Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
Thanks for the
It's good
application.
to see you.
We'll be in
Good to say
touch.
Thank you for your hard work. This
We
has
missed a
been
really
quite
fun
time.
tour yesterday. We went to both wastewater treatment plants and the Sunny Dead Public Works Building and the library and the fire station and the police station.
You're getting an
It
orientation?
was a whole day event.
The
Yeah.
whole day. With lunch. Most important part. Well, not the
Thank
most
you.
important
Well,
part.
good luck.
Take care.
Thanks. Our next one's scheduled at 6:50. Do we want to take a 5-minute break? I need to take a 5
I
minute.
did see somebody out there.
3 minutes? Okay.
Right, sounds great.
Many of you waiting for.
And for public art, we have 2 seats open and 2 incumbents, right?
Come on in.
We only closed the door because it was too late.
Yes.
Come on in.
That's gonna be,
I'm not important.
That's not true.
nothing available for the.
That answers that question.
God, some have to.
Freeman is here, okay. Who's that?
Is that who you want next?
Hey Freeman, can you hear us? It looks like you're muted. No, now you're muted again. There you go.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, he's got the mic going. You think he has it or? Hold on a second.
No, I think it's him.
I had you on my computer, but it was a different email, but it seems I can do it with my phone.
This is fine. There's no echo anymore. You sound good.
Thank you.
So good evening, Freeman. Thanks for applying for the Public Art Committee. And I see that you also put a second choice in for Bike and Ped.
Correct.
Would you like to tell us something about yourself?
Sure. I'm a recent arrival to South Burlington. My wife and I moved here in November of 2024 after spending the last 40 plus years in Northampton, Massachusetts. I was a teacher for the time that I was living in Northampton. Prior to that, I had been both a teacher and a restaurateur. When I moved to Western Mass after I sold my restaurant, I went to find a position in a public school, and I was interested in working in a big city. So I looked in Springfield, and that's where I spent the rest of my career. And I had the wonderful good fortune of being able to be the coordinator of a grant, federal magnet grant that converted our middle school to a visual and performing arts middle school. So I made lots of connections with artists in the art community, not just visual arts, but performing artists, dancers, theater writers. And then when I retired in 2013, did some consulting, continued to do some consulting. After having founded a public 6 through 12 school, not a charter school, but a regular public school with an organization called, at the time, Expeditionary Learning Outward Bound. When I retired, I joined the Northampton Arts Council and served on that for several cycles. And also was on the Bike and Ped Committee, which is why I was interested in applying for both of those committees in South Burlington. And like so many other people, like so many other people, and you guys have mentioned, we have found South Burlington be a wonderful place. I'll mention we lived in the Florence section of Northampton, which was a little village outside of the city center, and the one thing that we missed when we and our home overlooked the bike path. So we got to see the people going by on the bike path on a regular basis. I ended up joining Friends of Northampton Trails and working with a guy named Greg Della Pena, who was responsible to some measure for rail trails throughout the Northeast and is now in the process of trying to get all the gaps filled in the rail trail that goes all the way from Boston to Northampton, and also the trail that goes from Northampton to New Haven. So I have a lot of experience with that as well as, having the experience of just watching people on the trail and really enjoying that. I was also involved on the trail with, I met an artist who was painting on the rail trail, and she and I began talking, and she had this interesting idea of having little galleries on the trail. And so now the Northampton Rail Trail now has five little galleries, tiny galleries with people, both professional artists and people who just want to share their art along the rail trail. So that was one of the projects that I was involved with, and that those are still existing. We just went down and took a ride on that trail, and the galleries are still there. What else can I tell you? Yeah, so I was telling you about the village. So one of the things that when we first moved here, we were always walking. We thought of ourselves as the old couple who walked around Florence Village, and that's how people would identify us. And so from where we live now in the Heatherfield Association off of Songbird, we would walk up to Dorset, and it's not the same as living in a small village. But after a very short period of time, we found all of these trails, both in Wheeler and that whole complex, and also down Swift and into the gardens down there and the trails. And so we found a way of making sure that we have plenty of places to walk, and they're all really close and interesting. So we were very happy about that, and we've loved being here, and we really love what's happening downtown. That's been a really exciting piece to see. I was just back in Springfield yesterday visiting a former colleague, and just really like the energy of being in a downtown area. I mean, I was born in Brooklyn, and I suppose that's part of in my blood. I think that's I could say more, but I'll stop there.
So from Songbird, the only link you're missing is the Spear Street bike path, which is it's on the books to be done.
Maybe next summer now.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm very excited to see all the people going by, because we are on an end unit and looking at Songbird, so we see the people passing by. So I'm excited to see all the cyclists going by. There's already quite a few, but yeah, looking forward to that and the crosswalk across Dorset.
Tell me about your work on the Arts Council in Northampton. What sort of things did you participate in there, and did they have a selection committee that they used?
Yeah, the Arts Council was involved in lots and lots of different projects. In fact, I'm really excited to explore, what the full capacity of the Arts Committee is here. But we did everything from the Arts Council took over from another organization the first night, so they coordinated a huge first night event in Northampton. So and the lovely part about it, just as is beginning to happen in South Burlington, is that in Northampton, it's easy to get about the city. It's not a huge place, just like what's happening in downtown South Burlington. And there are a lot of venues, small venues, large venues. So there are lots of different performances. So coordinating that and facilitating that and selling tickets and recruiting and talking with artists about, performing on the first night. So that's one piece. There's also, in Massachusetts, there's an arts council, and every city or municipality gets a certain budget from the state to give small grants to artists. So one of the things that we did is we reviewed grant applications and awarded small grants to artists. And also one of the things that most of the members did was we met with artists to help them if they had some questions about filling out the application, and how to, and where other sources of funding there might be. So that was another piece I worked with. And then I also got involved in helping create a diversity and equity and inclusion statement for the Arts Council, because we wanted to do that. And yeah, so those are the main things that I was involved with. One of the great side stories about that is that the guy who is the head of the Arts Council or the Arts Department actually in Northampton. It's a city department. Was a sixth grader in my classroom. So Brian Foote, that was one of the real pleasures of serving on the council, that I actually knew the guy who was the head of the the organization since he was in sixth grade. So
Freeman, how many people live in Northampton? What size is that city?
it's around 30,000. It's been very stable for a very long time.
And how many colleges are there? Universities?
Well, I mean, there's only Smith is right there in Northampton, but there's Hampshire,
Hampshire, yeah.
has been Hampshire, Mount Holyoke, UMass, Amherst College,
It's dense.
and yeah, it's a lot of colleges, a lot of college students.
College.
I'm really excited about the bridge, pedestrian cycling bridge going over the 89. I think that'll be a really exciting connection to make.
Yeah, yeah. Have you had an opportunity to attend any of the public arts meetings or talk to any of the volunteers on those committees?
I have not attended any of the meetings. I've been following the agendas, looking at minutes. I saw their work plan proposal to the council. So I've been following it that way, but I haven't been to any of the minutes. I mean, meetings.
And you feel like that you can meet the time commitment for either of your choices, bike and ped or public arts?
Unlike many of the people who have you've spoken to, who have full agendas and plenty to do without that, I have deliberately not gotten myself involved in too many things because I knew I wanted to be involved in something, and I know it takes time and commitment. So yeah, I have the time and the availability.
Just to set the stage for you, there's 2 open positions for public art, and so far 7 applicants. Whereas for bike ped, there are 6 open positions and only 4 applicants. So
I'm interested in serving the city. I'd like to be of value and help. So I mean, this is a way for me to step into that. So I would be very happy to serve in either. My interest in the arts doesn't come just from our professional life. It comes because I recognize how important the arts have been to my wife and I, how much it means to our quality of life. And one of my concerns in Northampton, as wonderful a city as it was and continues to be wherever we live, is that it's nice to have art in city centers. But I think it would be great to try to figure out how to get it into the neighborhoods in the community as well. And so the tiny galleries was one attempt to do that. It was the first step in a plan that I had for bringing performance arts into the community as well. So for me, the arts. Well, I love cycling and I feel so happy that of all the trails that I have access to from our house. With just the other day we rode down to the lake and along the lake. But I've gotten myself a road bike with a little battery assist, so the hills are not quite as daunting as they would be otherwise. But yeah, so I have a strong commitment to both of those committees with the work that they do, I should say.
Excellent.
Yeah. Any questions?
Good to see you again, Freeman, and thanks for stepping up.
Yeah, well, I'm quite in awe of how demanding all of the work is that you guys are doing in the city, and really, I have my daughter-in-law's sister works in Essex, and I have a real appreciation for what you guys do in terms of managing the city, and what Jesse does as a manager. It seems like a really well-run city with a great plan and a lot to balance. So I'm happy to contribute in some small way.
Freeman, what battery assist road bike did you select?
I got a salsa from REI. I had looked at a bunch and it was you know, road bikes, the battery assists are expensive and I didn't want a big powerful battery. Didn't want a throttle or anything. I just wanted something that would help me and I wouldn't have to work so hard on the hill. So I got this great salsa from REI and I love it. This second year I've had it and we have it now. We have a good bike rack, so I'm looking forward to taking it all over the state.
Great, great. You have any questions for us?
Um, you know, I don't know how you guys balance your lives. I mean, with all the meetings that you have and all the work that you have. I don't think I have any questions. You know, I'm looking forward to serving on one of the committees and learning more there. You know, my question about the arts committee is I see that, you know, the focus has been on visual arts, and I didn't know if there's been any opportunity or if it's in the charge of the committee to work on performing arts or you know, poet laureate or whatever. So that would, I guess, that question.
Right, not yet, but stay tuned. That's what I
Okay.
would say. Yep. Yeah. Great. And so did you hear from the other application kind of discussions we had that we would probably know by June 16th and inform one way or the other?
I did hear that, yes.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for applying and attending tonight. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks you guys for all you do.
And good seeing you again.
See ya.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Nice to see you all.
All right, next we have Eric James Davis. Come on down.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice to have you. And I see that you've applied for primary first choice as public art and then the secondary as library board.
Yes, that's correct. I was interested in the cycling as well, but I have a different commitment on Wednesdays, so.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. Well, why don't you tell us about yourself and why you're interested in either or both of those committees?
Sure. Well, again, my name is Eric Davis. I grew up in northern Maine, about 2.5 hours, in a small town about 2.5 hours north of Bangor, Maine, if you're familiar with it. I moved to Vermont back in 2013 and moved to South Burlington around 2018. I've really enjoyed my time in South Burlington. I think it's a great community and a great city. I live in the Twin Oaks Terrace neighborhood right now, next to the Edge. And I've also really just enjoyed seeing Market Streets develop over the past couple of years, all the new buildings going up and businesses going in. And it's been an exciting time. It's supposed to be a resident of South Burlington. And I feel like, you know, I've benefited greatly from all of the amenities and events and just services that the city offers. And I would like to contribute to that as well.
And have you been following the Public Arts Committee recently and seen what they've been working on? Have you attended the gallery openings downstairs? And
I've attended a few. I've been to some of the library events and I've looked at the artwork on display down there. I've also I have a e-assist bike as well, so I've been going around some of the trails. I've seen some of the murals on the infrastructure, the utility boxes.
Yep.
Spent time at the it's called Goose Park or Market Street Park for the geese. So
have you been over the new bridge yet to the City Hall Park? It's complete now.
I have not, no.
Neither have I.
I have, it's incredible.
You have?
Yeah, it's
I know,
beautiful.
it's great.
Going too soon. That's great. And do you think that you have enough time to commit to the meetings when they have them?
Yes.
And
How long, John, the meetings usually, I imagine they run for about 2 hours on
so
Tuesdays.
Public Arts is like an hour and a half, maybe it goes over a little bit once a month. I think it's the third Tuesday each month, approximately. Yeah, I think it's third Tuesday.
Yep.
And for example, that bunny right there is one of the 3 submitted proposals, one of the 4 proposals from a solicitation of artists for a public artwork to go in a little spot that's going to be created when we bend White Street to meet Midas Drive. We have a proper intersection there. There will be a little pocket park area across from Al's Fries. So well, that's one of their tasks right now is to pick an artist or a group of artists that have submitted, you know, a proposal. And that money is from one of the.
Looks lovely. Reminds me of the rabbits that sort of go by my condo every now and then.
Well, that was one of the comments, was that since we have this large population of rabbits in town that just seem to run around, you know, unfettered.
Yeah.
And then your other choice was the library board. Why don't you tell us why you're interested in that one?
I've always enjoyed libraries. I'm an avid reader, and again, I actually, when I first got out of college, I applied to a few jobs. I was interested in public service. I applied for a few local libraries in Maine before moving to Vermont and getting my job here. And again, this library itself is a great place to hang out, spend time at, just relax. It has. I did a library tour the 2 weeks ago. I think there was an event here, just seeing all the different services the library offers. I was very impressed.
What's your favorite part of the library?
Actually, this is I kind of like the chairs. They're just they're
The comfortable chairs.
yeah, well, yes. Well, some of them are just have the very. So some of them have just very colorful. They have an interesting design. Just it's very inviting. I just want to sit down, put my feet up, and read a book. So, but other than that, again, let's see, favorite part. The study room is also very nice. Just now you can reserve them. Nice quiet place to work and have some time to either just some private time to work on something or just with a small group.
Other questions from council?
Just to go back to the Public Art Committee, what drew you to, and what kind of contributions do you feel like you can make in public art?
Yeah, well, again, as I mentioned earlier, I do have an e-assist bike, so I often do just ride my bike around South Burlington, sort of the greater Burlington area, and I've often found my eye drawn to the public art that's on a display. Like I said, I might be having just a gray monotonous day, and suddenly I'll see a spot of color in one of the utility boxes, or again I'll be driving past the park and I'll see the geese, or just something else that catches my eye and just brightens my day. So that's something I've really enjoyed about South Burlington. In terms of what I can contribute, again, I'm a supervisor right now. I consider myself very good at facilitating events and just helping organize things. And also, so I often have to work with the employees I supervise, work with other supervisors and section chiefs, try to form consensus, take notes, get feedback, take information, just assess what the options are.
Do you work on Kimball Ave?
I work on the 30 River Road.
Which one?
30 River Road
Oh, okay.
at Essex Junction.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking that there's the one utility box on the bike path in front of there's the East Rise has one building, USCS has the other building, but there's one that has, the box has a snake drawn all around it, but you have to use that bike path that's on Community Drive and Kimball to see it, so.
Right now to get to work, I normally go down Williston Road, turn left onto Industrial Avenue, go up to Route 2A, up to 5 Quarters, and then turn right.
Oh, you're riding that on your bike now?
Yes.
A little bit of construction up at 2A. Yeah, do you go up Sharon Drive and?
Not Sharon Drive, mostly just 2A.
You take the shortcut that goes to the little neighborhood to get up to 2A without going through that intersect, the corner, because they got the sidewalk all blocked.
Again, I just stay on the side of the lane.
Oh, you stay on the, okay.
Yeah, as you mentioned, with the construction happening at the moment, I can't really use the extra large pedestrian path, so.
When I go to Global Foundries, I take the little bridge over, on Industrial, go up, take a left on Sharon Drive and then cut back to 2A, and then you take the bike path. They don't have that torn up yet, so I've probably passed you, or you've passed me. You probably passed me in the traffic jams like this morning. 10 minutes to get through the intersection because of letters.
Yeah, it's I found that at least when there's construction, the bike does help. So like I could just, stay to the side of the vehicles and gradually get it to where get to where the stop sign is, then wait for permission to.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions at all?
No.
Sorry. You have any
Thank you so
process
much.
questions for us? Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
No, I was just thanking you for wanting to volunteer and step forward.
Oh,
Really
yeah,
appreciate it.
happy to. I do have a question for the committee. How do the committees work together? For example, I've been a deacon at my church for 6 years, so we'd often have our own, monthly deacons meeting, but then there'd be sort of an all teams meeting for the church later that month. So I'm curious, do the committees meet with each other regularly?
All these different committees meet together. Well, that's something we've talked about. The chairs,
really.
the chairs have once in the past.
There are invitations to
Yeah.
other committees, largely to have the chair come to either present plans or to get input. But it is something we've talked a lot about, just there's so much opportunity for cross pollination of the committee work. And largely it's left up to the committees now, but the work plans are a step in that direction to really coordinate people's efforts on those committees.
It's kind of coordinated now. In fact, it goes up and then down. So the committees, share with the council what they're working on. We share with them what we'd like them to do, having seen what all the committees are doing, and try and make sure it's coordinated that way. So it's not really a cross, but it's a kind of up and down.
Okay.
Hub and spoke.
That makes sense.
Great. So you may have heard that we'll probably make our decision by June 16th, and we'll let you know one way or the other.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for applying. Thanks for coming tonight.
My pleasure.
In person.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you.
Next is Thomas Lindley. Come on down.
Do you need me to sign in here?
No.
Okay.
Do you prefer Tom or Thomas?
Thomas is fine.
Yeah, okay. So good evening, Thomas. I see you put in public art as your first choice and bike and ped as a second choice. Great. You want to tell us something about yourself?
Sure. So my family and I moved here only 3 years ago. We were living in Scotland and decided we needed to come back to the United States for a lot of reasons. So I applied at UVM, and I'm now the scene shop manager for theater and dance at UVM. And while living in Scotland, I studied architecture as well as sustainability in a postgrad. So I've worked in a lot of community projects in Glasgow and worked with a lot of artists. My original kind of art background and most of my working past has been in theater, and then a lot of fine art, as well as moving into teaching. And in Glasgow, I was teaching, well, mostly a technician. They called them gallery technicians or art technicians. But for the City of Glasgow College, I was their technician for their creative industries kind of area section. And so the students I would interact with and teach processes to were mostly fine art, model making, product design. And coming back here from Scotland, obviously getting back into the performing arts side. We've learned a lot, my family and I, coming to South Burlington and Vermont. Things we hadn't expected.
Like what? Yeah.
Well,
Scotland, come on.
We're not as far north as Scotland, but man, does it get cold up here.
It was a cold winter.
It was a rough winter this winter, and there were a lot of challenges. There's a lot of challenges with the roads and just the way the community kind of gets along. Glasgow, as you can imagine, back in Scotland, is very urban. There's a lot of integrated mass transit and public transit, but it's also a very walkable city if you could stand the rain. So it's been an adjustment culturally for us as well as.
Why did you pick this South Burlington? Because of UVM?
Yeah, we came to Vermont for the purposes of, well, we wanted to be somewhere cooler. We weren't ready for a lot of heat, so we chose, you found it. We chose something mountain oriented. We came to South Burlington, one, because we had to find a place to live very quickly. We wanted our son to go to one of the better schools anyway. So we wanted to stay in Chittenden County. And so we rented for a few years and we bought recently over in Treetop. So he still goes to South Burlington High School and it's been great. He's made lots of really good friends and connections. So yeah, that's why we chose South Burlington. We want to keep as local as possible to our work and his school. But also, as well as teaching and working and training people in art and working with students, I have a lot of focus, obviously, on the community as well. Over in Scotland, I've never really worked for or within government or any committees per se, but I have served on committees for the Garden and Allotment Society in Glasgow, as well as Hamilton Hill Allotment Society, so which allotments are community gardens. And through some of the project work, met some of these groups, started working with them as their kind of coordinator and volunteer support person. And some of the projects I worked on were trying to get funding from the government to put community spaces and places in place or renovate them for the communities. So other than that, I've not actually served any positions in government. So. But I'm looking, we're kind of looking for, as far as UVM is concerned, we work as the School of Art together. So our visual and performing arts kind of has an umbrella right now and just started a couple of years ago. It seems to be working well, but we're coming up with a lot of challenges. And I've been asked, as well as some of my colleagues, to start to collaborate more, look at the community, and I'm slowly learning about Burlington, Vermont, that it's about the community and keeping the community attached to all the things that they value. So.
Your second choice is bike and ped. What do you want to tell us about that?
So I cycled most of my time while in the UK or road trains. Having a car over there is kind of challenging, a bit expensive. And so it became an easy choice to cycle as well as, just be a pedestrian. Scotland is a walking place. I mean, there's the wild walks, there's the some of the trails that have been basically a lot of the old rail systems and pathways have been turned into walking or hiking trails and so forth. But studying architecture, you end up doing lots of planning and that kind of study. So urban planning and the idea of access and safe spaces for people becomes part of the education. And my focus is to, ideally, I'm closer aligned right now with public art and just art in general. But my interest in seeing more access and easy access with paths and cycling is pretty important. I don't cycle right now, and the reason is the roads are terrible. It feels unsafe for me to cycle, but my son does cycle. You mentioned earlier in one of the interviews that there are some changes coming, like the extension of the Spears road path. And then I think the most important thing is that bridge over connecting South Burlington to the hill, University Hills. And I'm very interested in how that progresses, and just in general, making it easier for people to be out and about, walking places. I know that it's a hard ask in a place that's mostly rural or closer to rural than it is urban. But as far as South Burlington, I think the connectedness could be better. I have a pal who I work with who lives in Williston, and he just can't understand why there aren't sidewalks everywhere. He comes from Boston, I come from Glasgow, so to us, it's automatic. You just always have those. And it seems like sometimes it's either an afterthought or it's will anybody use it even if we put it in? So I'd like to get closer to the nuts and bolts of how that works when we're talking about the government level and interacting with the community to try and get their opinion and their feedback on what they actually need. In Glasgow, that's what we did for a lot of our project work is consultations, get the community involved, go to them if necessary, even go door to door to find out what they really want. It was a lot to do. It was a big ask, but that's kind of what the volunteers do.
So it sounds like you don't like the cycle commute because that bridge, first of all, is
The bridge would be helpful, I think, yeah.
But
The bridge over 89, it's getting on and off the sidewalk or the green donated path while people are flying at 50 miles an hour on and off that ramp. It feels less dangerous to me as a cyclist than it does to the person behind the person braking. And it scares me to death. And I've cycled for most of my adult life. So.
For recreation on our path.
For recreation, I don't mind that at all. It's just, again, we have to get to that place if we want to, like, if we want to ride down by the lake, getting downtown is the harder part.
Yeah.
And I used to only use the I forgot the cycle scheme that they had here around the campus, where you rent the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they died of death. And that was really convenient, but pricey, but that was helpful. And I know there's a lot of cities and communities that have that kind of shared cycling and scooter system that seems to work.
Other questions?
Good.
I'll just mention, as I mentioned to Freeman, so we happen to have 6 open seats in bike ped.
Yeah, that's what
4 applicants. And we happen to have only 2 open seats in public art and 7 applicants, so.
That's fine. Yeah, I would be happy to serve in either.
Yeah.
And public art, obviously that,
Yeah.
I feel like I need to have those conversations in my community anyway, as a member of School of Art or for UVM. But,
Be an interesting connection between what you're doing at UVM and what we're doing in South Burlington.
Yeah, and
Linking those together.
I have students who live in some of the housing here, and I've been hearing good things. They enjoy it.
Okay.
It's been a good thing. There's a lot of students who do want to live on campus, off campus, and do not want to live down in Burlington necessarily. It's been a good thing, and it's come along so fast. Like we've only just gotten here.
Yeah,
just kind of trying to.
I'm sorry, I didn't think to mention this before the other public art candidates, but the council will consider in the next month committing to doing a cultural plan next year with public art committee and others, and that's going to be a pretty heavy community engagement lift. So we're going to need lots of folks to help with that thinking and brainstorming and data collection and all of that. So
sure,
I think regardless of official appointments, there'll be roles
regardless
for people.
Yeah, regardless of the official appointment, we're serious about collaborating in the community. It's going to be necessary. It's needed.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do you have any process questions for us?
No, I think all the questions I might have asked got answered in the previous
You heard me
interviews.
say June 16th.
Yeah, June 16th. Well,
Thank you. Have a good evening. Thanks for coming, Thomas. Right, next up is Bryce Myers. Come on down.
Just bring this year. To change your choice.
Embarrassment of riches, really.
Never too late to make a
Yeah, but
choice.
I guess that's a good thing.
They're not last.
Oh, okay.
So good evening. I see that you, again, public arts and then bike and ped. It's,
Don't know if I can follow that though, but I'll try.
you have your own story to tell and we
I
want to
do.
hear it. So
Yeah.
tell us your story.
Yes,
Have you
so
applied it before to other committees?
I have not.
Okay.
This is first foray for me. So yeah, I moved here with my family, my wife, and 2 kids in around the same time he did, 2022. For a number of reasons. We moved here from Louisville, Kentucky. My wife is from Louisville. So including the cold weather, we actually chose coming here because of that. But yeah, in part too, because of the town plan that you have and the like forward-looking, I think, plans for the town center. It's not often that, especially in a place like Vermont with its rural character and history, that you find a focus on mixed-use development, pedestrian zones, and some biking trails. So that was super attractive to us. So that's part of the reason why we chose not only Vermont, but South Burlington. And we have, as I mentioned, 2 kids in Lake Marcotte, right down the street. So we chose it for that as well.
I'm looking at your resume. It's pretty long. Tell me what experience you have that makes you think you're a good fit for the Public Art Committee.
Yeah, so art has always been an interest of mine. I don't have obviously the professional experience that like your last candidate did. What I do have professional experience in is, so I've been an instructional designer for about 25 years now. And a large part of that work is communication and evaluation. And I think that's two things that maybe the committee could consider, again, whether I'm part of it or not, but consider as a kind of a strategic goal going forward. You know, like just an example in the communication bucket, this is a great Google Maps map of the public art that is available that I just found a couple of days ago. I think it's great. I think it's also possible to think of like other entry points for, because there's so much art already here, you know, that is, again, until I had seen that map, I didn't realize existed. So just maybe providing other entry points for folks, like just a printed walking or biking tour of those pieces that are out there. So I think something like that. Then also just evaluating goals, like what are the goals for public art? What do we want to accomplish by investing our time and money in it? You know, it's often difficult to tie something like art, just like in the training world, it's difficult to tie it directly to money, revenue, but it's also possible to tie it to things like community engagement, and yeah, even economic benefits as well. So I think those are the kinds of things you can accomplish with, I think you mentioned before, you know, an initiative to gather data. I think that's the kind of thing you could accomplish by asking 5 to 7 questions of say 200 residents here. And that way you could gather data not only to evaluate your goals, but also to gather feedback and, you know, directional feedback in terms of what people would like to see in the future in terms of public art.
What does an instructional designer do?
That's a good question. How long do you have? Yeah, and so there is, so I started my career as a teacher just as a sort of, that's an often a career progression for instructional designers.
And I developed training for adults. I happen to work for a private company now, developing training for the employees of the company. So someone may come to me and say, you know, we need training. We're coming out with a new product, so we need training in 3 months for people in this role to be able to service that product or use that product. So I developed the learning outcomes, the an actual training objectives. Yeah.
With all sorts of media or mostly just digital or?
All, yeah, both print and digital. I'd say like maybe 70 to 80% now is digital. But yeah, some face-to-face like instructor-led instruction as well as yeah, e-learning, that sort of thing.
Any goggle stuff yet?
Not yet, but it's absolutely the future for sure. So yeah, especially for some applications where you're talking about psychomotor skills, where you're manipulating objects would be super helpful.
Do you bike?
I do, yes. We're in the process of like teaching our kids bike safety. They bike to school, I'd say maybe once or twice, once a week.
How far is that?
For us, so we're in Butler Farms. It's a haul.
To Chamberlain?
No, to Rick Marcotte.
Oh, Marcotte, okay, sorry.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that's my interest in the biking and pedestrian committee as well as that is doable. And I mean, I used to live in DC and bike commuted there, so I'm comfortable. It was wonderful in some ways, but you know, like you have to be comfortable with traffic and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there are it's like 80 to 90% there, at least my commute from Butler Farms. There's like just some missing pieces of the puzzle that would be great to put together.
Where do you go?
So I actually go out on the trail like to Dorset Street and then up. Yeah, and then so if you want an example of, to me, a missing piece, once you come to the intersection with Kennedy, there's a piece where you're going onto a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the sidewalk is adjoining the street.
Rory knows it well. He got
Yes.
confronted by a jogger. Because he was
Yeah.
I ride that all the time.
Okay.
It goes from a path to a sidewalk to a
Yes.
curb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
And the sidewalk is a shared use path,
It's very narrow.
but it's very narrow
Yes.
and a lot of people don't pay attention.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I feel like there's been a couple of times when I've been on it and met a crossing or passed a pedestrian, and that always made me, so I just get on the grass when that
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, it's just
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, the rest honestly is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just that like missing piece. And I don't have like, I'm not a urban planner, but I feel like there could be solutions to that, but I'm sure you've looked into them. But,
Kennedy to Market Street, the path could be improved a little bit.
sure, yeah. And I guess, isn't it in the plan to have a path on Hindberg Road?
Yeah.
Yes.
Eventually, yeah.
No,
I
soon,
mean-
soon.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully.
That'd be great.
Right, Jesse?
Yeah, I mean, that would be great too.
Do you cycle for fun or recreation at all?
Yes, I'd say, yeah, once or twice a week, I cycle on the weekends with my kids. We are trying to come downtown more and limit our car trips downtown just because it's so, yeah, I mean, there's so much here now. It makes it worth a trip. You can do like multiple things. And I mean, that, to me, that relates to the public art issue as well. I mean, you have public art, I think, provides destinations to walk and bike to, but it also can provide and enhance a trip from point A to point B. But yeah, we are definitely trying to bike downtown.
You can get an ice cream cone at Cider Mill from your house without. No, you have to get off the bike. Yeah, you have to get on Dorset Street.
Yes,
Soon you.
that's
will have to
another
get on
example.
Dorset.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's
It
coming.
is, oh, okay. I do feel like that's another example of the 10%.
That's in court.
Yeah,
right
but
there.
they has to go down.
Oh, because wasn't the owner of the cider mill opposed
The
to?
next neighbor, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. I figured there must have been something.
But you can still come to Cider Mill Drive and then just kind of hug the left side, you know.
I've always felt I wish there was some sort of path between that neighborhood
Yeah.
through that, I don't know what.
Through the
that-
field?
Yeah, in the field.
Well,
We're
stay
working on it.
tuned, someday that might come to fruition, depending upon developments and stuff like that, so.
That'd be great.
But right now, there's signs saying, no trespassing and. Right. Any other questions at all? Any process questions for us?
No, you said June 16th.
Yeah, and we will let you know one way or the other. And, but please, if for some reason you don't get an appointment, please, apply again.
Sure.
Because it happens annually, but then sometimes there are slots that need to be filled throughout the year as well.
But we happen to have some slots in bike peds, so.
We do.
And don't take it as non-interest, take it as an overabundance
Yeah.
of opportunities.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I'm really glad to hear that there's so much community involvement. That's
It's amazing.
that's
Have
everything.
you heard of SB3C?
I have. My wife's a trustee at the library and she is a member of the.
Okay.
So
SB3C.
SB3C. Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
See you.
See you.
Lauren Carr, is Lauren online? No. Wrong glasses.
No.
No. There's a Sue Ailnick. Hi, Sue.
And we have passed her time slot,
Yes.
so
I'll have Andrea reach out to her.
very self-aware Lauren Carr is not aware of the meeting time. There's no.
Wait a minute, I remember somebody.
You are, just remember you're on recording here, folks.
Very self-aware.
You are,
I'm aware of it before the day has started.
this is a live mic moment.
So, that concludes item 5. Is there any other business?
Nope.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Second?
We have a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, madam.
You're welcome. Keep it up.
It's warm.